This will be part 1 of a video tutorial series teaching you how to use the SUMIF and SUMIFs functions within Microsoft Excel. I'm excited to show you one of the best and most used formulas that Excel offers. I can guarantee that if you learn this one formula in Excel, you'll be set up at least a little bit better to work smarter and not harder. And chances are, once you learn this function and realize how awesome Excel can be, you'll want to keep learning. So let's dig in. For this example, I downloaded data from external sources and dumped that data into my own spreadsheet. On this sheet, I have data from a phone team surrounding their efficiency. It tells me how long, in seconds, each phone agent spends on their calls on average, how long they place customers on hold for, and how long they spend taking notes after each call is over. It also tells me what their average calls per hour is. As these phone agents manager, my job is to coach and manage them in an attempt to increase their efficiency. In order to do this, I want to be able to share their efficiency metrics with the agents. The problem is that in most cases, I'm only comfortable with sharing individual metrics with each phone agent. If I show each person's everyone's metrics, it might do one of two things. If they are lower performers and see how far behind they are, they might get discouraged and think they might never be able to catch up or achieve those higher metrics. If they are higher performers, they might see the folks at the bottom and think they can slow down, or they might start to resent the lower performers. I want to use the SUMIF function to sift through this data and create a single page scorecard that does 3 things. Number 1, the scorecard will only show individual agent metrics all on one page. Number 2, the data in that scorecard will change based on the name I select from a dropdown. In other words, I don't want to create a separate scorecard for each agent. I'd rather create one single automated scorecard. I also want to use conditional formatting to show green if the agent is meeting their target, but red if they aren't meeting their target. Since you're here to learn, I've created a separate sheet that only has the template of the scorecard I just showed you. We can work through this template together and add the drop-down list, the goal metrics, and the SUMIF formulas. And I'm actually going to hide this one so we don't get confused as we go through this. Obviously, this probably goes without saying, but as I go through this data, you'll have to imagine how these functions and rules would apply to the data you are working with. First, we'll set up the drop-down list so that we can build our formulas off of it. To do that, I'll click on the cell where I want to add the drop-down list. Then, click on the Data tab. From there, I'll choose Data Validation. Depending on what version of Excel you are working with, the Data Validation option might be in a different spot. When the Data Validation window pops up, you can choose List. Excel is going to ask for the source of the list then. Or in other words, what text options do you want to be included in your drop-down list? You can do it one of 2 ways. The hard way is to type out the text with a comma in between each associate's name. You can imagine how long it would take you to do it if you had a list of 30 associates instead of 6. There's an easier way. If I'm still on the cell and click Data Validation again, it will allow me to make changes to the source. I'm going to delete the text and choose a range of cells instead. I have a sheet with all of the agents' names on it over here. I'm going to make sure my cursor is blinking in the source option. If it is, it's ready for me to select my range. From here, if I click on the Agents tab, I can select the range of cells I want to include. I can include just the 6 if I'd like, but I'm going to include the whole column. That way, if I add names to this list later, they will be included in the drop-down as well. Now, if I click OK, there is now a drop-down list on my scorecard where I can change the name of the associate I want to view. You can also see that if I go back to the Agents sheet and add a name, that new name automatically shows up in my drop-down list. Now I'm ready to build my SUMIF formulas. The SUMIF function is actually really simple once you get the hang of the formula. It basically means that I only want to sum the values in column B if the values in column A match the parameters that I set up. So if I want to calculate the call duration in January for Doug Johnson, I need to set up those parameters. Let's take a look at the January phone stats sheet to give you a better idea. In column B, I have the average call duration in seconds for each agent. In column A, I have the agents listed. I could just sum the total of every agent's call duration. But that's not what I'm looking for. I only want to find that for Doug Johnson. That's where SUMIF is going to come into play. When I type equals SUMIF and then opening parentheses, it's going to ask for 3 parameters. The range of the criteria that you're looking at, the actual criteria you want to pull out of that range, and then the sum range. So in this case, I'm going to choose A2 through A7 as the criteria range, and then add a comma to get to the next step in the equation. Now it asks for the criteria I want to use. I'm going to pick A11 because I want to sum only the values for Doug Johnson, and add a comma to get to the next step in the equation, which is the sum range. Since I'm looking for call duration, I'm going to pick cells B2 through B7. Now I'm going to close the function or formula completely with a closing parentheses. Now if I wanted to, I could actually type a different name and that value would change. Now I'm ready to set this formula up on my scorecard. I'll start with call duration. Equals SUMIF and opening parentheses. Now select the criteria range. Excel will follow the formula as you click on different sheets. Notice how the formula changes when I click in January phone stats. It adds that page to the formula so that it knows to look at cells A2 through A7 on this page and not the template page. It does the same thing when I go back to the template page to grab the actual criteria, which is the name in the drop-down list we want to use. And again, it does it when I go back to grab the sum range. I'll select that and add a closing parentheses. Now if I hit enter, Excel will always bring you back to the sheet where you're adding the formula on, no matter what page you were last on grabbing pieces of the formula. You can see now that when I change the name in the drop-down list, that value changes to what is listed on the January phone stats page. I'm basically going to repeat the steps for hold time, after call, and calls per hour. Equals SUMIF and opening parentheses, pick the criteria range, then pick the criteria, and finally pick the sum range, which is now going to be hold time per call. Closing parentheses and hit enter. Now for after call per call. Equals SUMIF, then choose the criteria range, then the criteria, and the sum range, then the closing parentheses and hit enter. You get the idea, so I'm just going to finish this last one off quick. Now that I have all of these values in there, let's test it out. Yep, they all work. The next thing I want to do is add a goal for each metric and add a bit of conditional formatting that quickly shows whether or not each agent is meeting those goals. Let's say the goal for average call duration is 240 seconds, or 4 minutes. The goal for hold time is 30 seconds per call. It's also 30 seconds for after call. The goal for calls per hour is 11. Now that we have the goals marked out, I want to add some formatting. If the agent is meeting the goal, I want the cell to turn green. If they aren't meeting the goal, I want it to turn red. I'll start with call duration. I'm going to click on the cell I want to add the conditional formatting to, which is the cell that holds the agent's actual value. Then from the Home tab, I'm going to click on Conditional Formatting and then add a new rule, which will give you a pop-up. From there, I'm going to select Format Only Cells That Contain. I want to format this cell if it is greater than 240. Now I want to choose my formatting. Since the agent wouldn't be meeting the goal if it's greater than 240, I'm going to turn the cell red. And to make the font easier to see, I'm going to turn the font white. Then I'm going to click OK. I want to add another rule to the cell which will turn it green if they are meeting the goal. Click Format Only Cells That Contain, and then choose less than or equal to 240. I'll fill that with green and turn the font white. Click OK and OK again. Now when I change the names, you should see the colors change as the agents are meeting or not meeting the goals. I'm not going to go through all of these values and add the conditional formatting because I think you get the idea. I'll just fast forward from here a little bit. And that's how you make a scorecard using the SUMIF function with a bonus of conditional formatting. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, because if you do, you'll get notified when I come out with my next video, which is going to be the SUMIFs tutorial, which basically is a second or third or fourth layer to the SUMIF function. It's really cool, so stay tuned.